I see you. Can you see me? Watching you, loving it. So today, I want to talk about garnishing wages. What does that mean? So they kind of showed their hand. The powers that be, the people in the position to threaten you with this financial slavery, this debt that always seemed to hover over everyone's lives. Think about this. To get an education, you got to get a student loan that you got to pay off. A lot of times, if you go to let me pause it because this, actually, we're going to run through it. If you go to a private college institution, Ivy League, anything like that, it don't even have to be Ivy League, but it's costly. And to pay them joints back, it takes like 20, 30 years. I would advise anyone that's like, if I can go back in time and talk to my younger self fresh out of high school, I would say, trust me, go to community college, pay out of pocket, do not get any loan. Do not get any loan. Get all A's, get a 4.0, get your associate degree, a 2-year degree from community college. It could just be general studies. It doesn't even matter. Transfer with that associate degree in a 4.0 to a 4-year college. That 4-year college, a lot of these 4-year colleges, they're looking for qualified candidates that can show and prove that they can do the work, that they can get the good grades, and that they're going to be mature and responsible. So you go in as a transfer student with an associate degree in a 4.0, guess what? They're going to give you grants and scholarships and all type of money, and you don't have to worry about loans. So you'll have to apply to multiple colleges to find the right fit for you that's going to give you that academic financial freedom that you're going to need. Student loan debt. So that's what we're talking about. Then you graduate from school, or even while you're in school, like, yo, I got to get around somewhere. I need some wheels. You got to get a car note. And, that could be 3 to 5 years paying, depending on the type of car you get. I need to call people. You got to do a 2-year, I mean, unless you do like a track phone or a minute phone or something like that. But, the big franchise, the big national, if you want the top of the line coverage, them joints, they want you to do like a 2-year commitment. Again, these are types of, like, just the kind of shackles to keep you in place and keep churning out you paying them. And then now you graduate, you got the car that you want, you get in the career, you get in the job that you want. Now you're going to get married. Marriage costs, that's an agreement, a contract. Sometimes some people dump 20,000. That's about average, 20, 30,000 for a lot of these weddings. Now you're gonna have kids. Kids cost. Oh shoot, we can't live in an apartment forever. Let's go ahead and get a house. Mortgage. Mortgage is another 30-year commitment. Like, once you have these bills, these jobs, oh, they know they got you by the balls. They know they got you. Like, my father told me, he said he was working at a job, and the boss said, once you get a mortgage and a car note, oh, I got you. I know you're not going anywhere because you got to pay these bills. So they can treat you however they want to treat you. They can say whatever they want to say. They know you're not going nowhere, especially if they're paying you a certain dollar amount, so their competitors can't really match what they're paying you. They got you, man. They got you indebted. So you got to rise above that and know your worth. And if you have to take a pay cut and work for yourself, then do that. If you don't pay on certain, if you foreclose, if you run out of deferment, and you get in forbearance, or you get into these situations where you just can't pay, financial hardships and things like that, they'll get some of these, I guess, debt institutions and loan sharks are somewhat lenient, but after a while, they ain't gonna give you too many more chances. Then they're gonna get into, because they got your social security number, they got your straw man, they got all that stuff. They're gonna get into garnishing your wages. Now, if you are self-employed, if you own your own business, if you get your own contracts, make your own money, there's no way they can garnish your wages because you get that money, that check cut when you get it, and then you pay your federal taxes and state taxes if you have those, city taxes, local taxes if you have those, at your discretion. So you pay that. They get their money when they get their money, whether you do it quarterly or at the end of the year. Being self-employed is financial freedom. Even if you're struggling, even if you make 12,000 a year as a self-employed person, that's still better than you working and you making double that, and they garnish your wage because now you don't know what you might get. Let me just pause this for 1 second. Making some homemade granola, and I just didn't want it to burn. So that's neither here nor there. Just wanted to let you know what I was up to. All right, I'm back. So, garnishing your wages, yeah. They're going to garnish your wages if there is an employer that you work for and your social security number and straw man and all that stuff is attached. They got to report that. So if you're not paying your bills, then they gonna come after you on some like mafioso. They're gonna be blowing up your phone, sending you letters and emails, and they trying to get theirs. I'm not saying like this is to shake and bake them, but it further shows their hand that this is all about control, and you kind of like a slave. Like everybody kind of if you don't work for yourself, you work for someone else, you're on a plantation. Like, bottom line, they got you. You have to show up at the time that your employer tells you to show up. You on someone else's time and dime. So you don't really have a whole lot of freedom to. You got to get up at a certain time. You get off at a certain time. Basically, they tell you when to eat. You go on your lunch breaks and smoke breaks if you smoke, all that stuff, which you shouldn't smoke. But all these different things, like they tell you when and how to operate your life, and then when to pay up, and all these things. Like, it's crazy. It's not easy being self-employed. You gotta jump through a whole lot of hoops, a lot of red tape, and in fact, I want to say that they kind of make it where it's very challenging for people that when you're an entrepreneur, when you're starting off, I would say first 2 to 4 years can make or break you. If you don't survive them joints, then, a lot of people end up going right back to the plantation, back to an employer. But if you can weather through the storm and be okay with like making crumbs in the beginning and just be consistent and power through it, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna make it through. And kind of advice on like how I said about, if I can go back and do school differently, is basically setting yourself up for success. Because like coming out of high school, I didn't have a financial advisor or anyone to, counsel me and say, hey, this is what's going to happen when you get these student loans, and this is the interest that's going to accumulate. You could pay on that while you in school, and I didn't know none of that stuff. I just was a kid fresh out of high school, like, oh, this is free money. I know I got to pay it back one day. I'll pay it back one day, not knowing that the principal amount, like if I borrow $20,000 as the principal amount, by the time I graduate, all the interest accumulated, that joined like $30,000. Like, it just went up like 50% or something crazy. That's a gross exaggeration, but it's just to show you, like, the more you know, the better off you can be set up for success. So that's a school instance. For work instance, when you talk about garnishing your wages and things like that, when you are on a plantation, when you are employed, stack up, save. Even if you put away $50 a month, or $50 bi-weekly if you get paid bi-weekly, or weekly, whatever, just put something aside. $25, $50, $100, $1,000, whatever you can. Just store it away. in a shoebox or in a checking or savings or some type of account that you're not going to touch. So then when you're finally ready to go ahead and try to spread your wings and fly, be an entrepreneur and be self-employed, when that employer, when that plantation, when that company is getting on your nerves and they think like, oh, I got you by the ball. Like you got to show up at this time. So what? Your grandparent died. You ain't going to the funeral because you don't have PTO. You don't have, or you get injured. I got injured on the job and lost the job because FMLA didn't protect me because I wasn't there long enough. So, all these different things, like you need to have what they call FU money or go to hell money. Like, so when your employer or your plantation or whoever is getting on your nerves, working your nerves, and just feeling like they can treat you like a slave, you can say, go F yourself. Because you got that nest egg, you got that money saved, and you like, now's the time to go ahead, spread my wings, and just do my own thing. I can't take this no more. I'm not going to take this. I can't do it. I won't do it. So have some money saved, and we're gonna call that the go F yourself money, or the go to hell money. So you can tell those people that's trying to oppress you and keep you under their thumb, go to hell. I don't got to deal with this, or go F yourself. Like, talk to someone else like that crazy. You ain't gonna talk to me like that crazy. Like, I done put up with this mess and this crap for too long, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna start my own thing, and actually, I'm gonna be your competitor. So, so those are just tips and knowledges that tips and knowledge and information that I wanted to share. Um, I know this video is not gonna get a whole lot of views. I don't really care for that. I wanted to get one view from one person that needs to hear this message, that is going to change their life and put them on a track where they know that they're not alone, they have support and encouragement. And leave a comment or hit me up however you can, and let's keep the conversation going. So I don't know. Peace, love, smiles, truth, galaxy. I'm Zachary. I see you. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind to nature. Universe will support you, and I'm just here to help out in any kind of way that I can. So I love you. I see you. I see you.